let's look at what's in our mailbag for this week because George got in touch with us via email with a question about the US Open mixed doubles. So thanks very much for getting in touch. I always love to hear from everyone with their questions. So the US Open have announced this week a radical shake-up for the mixed doubles event at this year's event in Flushing Meadows. Among the changes, they are moving the mixed doubles to the fan week. It's going to be held across 2 days, and they are holding a best of three sets to four games format and having entry into the event based on singles rankings. So George says that he agrees that mixed doubles is in need of a change, but he's astounded by the way the US Open have gone about it. What do we think, and how would we have improved the mixed doubles at Grand Slams generally? Yeah, this was in the news. I'm glad George has picked up on it as well because it's quite different. It's not even going to be in the main week, and it's all happening over 2 days. I mean, it's I don't know. Is this right? I
It's
don't
like an
know.
exhibition.
It feels
does
like
feel like a kid's
tiebreak
thing.
tens.
Less of an
Yeah.
exhibition.
Yeah, like where's the heritage and the history, and are they sort of
Where
I
are
don't
the
know, just
doubles
dropping
players?
all of that?
No
Yeah,
doubles
I mean,
players
is
to be
this
found.
is this just to get singles players to do it as a bit of a warm up?
Well, it
Is
does
that what you
say
think,
that it's based on your
Chris?
combined singles ranking. So,
Mm,
good luck to Sara Errani, who won it last year, having the chance to defend her title,
Yeah.
which she won with Vavassori, who actually put out a statement saying, this is purely for profit, they believe, as opposed to being for anything else or for logic. And I think a lot of people have retweeted what they posted. They're quite kind of heartbroken by this. And a lot of doubles players think it kind of makes them be seen as less than very much because of the fact that they won't get to necessarily play in this, and it will become an exhibition during a week when the tournament isn't on. I mean, we've complained about Wednesday finishes for the mixed doubles,
yeah.
feeling like it should have a bigger stage. I mean, this is having fan week, so I'm fine with it being an exhibition, but I really would have an issue, and I do take umbrage with the fact that this would count as a Grand Slam title.
Yeah, and then there also it's a $1 million prize. It seems like they're upping the prize money, I guess, as well, in order to get, I guess, to lure the singles players in as well. But the mix of the doubles players, obviously, this is like their bread and butter, along with obviously the women's and men's doubles. It's denying them the opportunity to get that extra bit of money, which doubles players do not make as much as singles players generally. If you're at the top of the game in each tour, you're going to earn more as a singles player at the top than the doubles. So it just seems, yeah, you're just taking more opportunities away from the players who arguably need the funds more, perhaps, and just
What
dishing
about the
them
other
out to the
slams,
singles.
like Wimbledon? What must they think of this? Because this is so different to have such big disparity between what counts as a slam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, the Australian Open have already come out and said that they're not going to be changing anything. I can't necessarily see Wimbledon doing the same, especially so like almost like last minute. I mean, this feels, this almost feels like it came out of the blue. I mean, the one thing I wanted to say was just to play devil's advocate. We know that kind of, or like we've heard and seen in the news that doubles is struggling, and there has needed to be kind of a change up to help get more appeal to doubles and to mixed doubles. As a result of that, do you feel like it needed as radical a shake-up as this in order to like actually create change and gets and yes, it has divided opinion, but change is never kind of a smooth sailing operation. And actually, is there an argument to say creating something as divisive as this, actually it could be a positive step forward for the doubles format?
Ooh, that's a big question. I think when it comes down to it, if it was more similar to the mixed doubles at the Olympics, I could get on board. I think they do use combined rankings there for singles and doubles. I think that's probably one of my biggest issues with it, as well as this sort of the change in format to, best out of four, first to four games. I think that's also quite strange, but it's not that far of a stretch considering the next gen is played like that. So I think it could make it more exciting, could make it quicker to watch. I do think there is something in it from that respect, but that's really me stretching it because putting it in fan week as well. I mean, fan week doesn't say tournament week, does it? It's almost like paying the players to play what was last year Mixed Madness, which was an event that happened where a lot of the players did play that event. It was a lot of fun. And clearly this is a way to get people to watch the tennis for 3 weeks as opposed to watch it, or not 3 weeks, it's only over a couple of days, but you know what I mean with that. I think
it's almost like they shouldn't really be referencing it as fan week, because it does feel like we're getting more and more to a point where Grand Slams see it as a festival. They see it as like a 3 week main event. And maybe I would have less of an issue of it if we just sort of maybe, in the future accepted as, Grand Slams, they're going to be 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks. The only thing I would say maybe I could see about the fan week is it would put the spotlight, I guess, on the mixed doubles where, if it was
mixed play, not necessarily the mixed doubles that we know.
Well, yeah, but it will be less cluttered. There won't be singles going on, and it will be in Arthur Ashe and Louis Armstrong, so it will be on the big court. So there will be a genuine spotlight there. So I could sort of buy again it sort of being in that starter week. But as you said, like for me, the format of it just makes it feel like it's watered down, an exhibition. How can you even take these titles almost like how can you take these titles seriously compared to the blood, sweat, tears that the other doubles teams have put in the past to achieve their glory?
It doesn't sit in the history books in quite the same way. But I
maybe
do agree.
sits better on
It
ESPN.
it gives more of a spotlight on it. But how many people are tuning in before it's actually kicked off? Is it really gonna? I'd still rather see a good mixed doubles final on the day of like a singles final on the final weekend, and get it the proper kind of prestige that it deserves. And it's annoyed me that at Grand Slams they've sort of made it earlier in that second week over the last few years, and this seems to just be going the other end of the scale. So George, I hope that answers your question somewhat. I guess there's no perfect answer for what we would do, but we're not maybe the keenest of fans
do it
on this one.
Don't go,
so maybe
please.
Give it a bit more thought, and if this doesn't work, I guess they can always backtrack and go back to normal, and there'll just be a bit of an asterisk in the list of champions.
When you see the list, some very, very big names won it that year.
Maybe Rafa can come out of retirement.
He could do 4 games, I'm sure.
Slam,
Andy Murray.
Absolutely.
Ooh, maybe Murray would.
Djokovic will want a mixed double slam, maybe.
Well, Fernando Verdasco's doing it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get on to that in a bit, actually. Now you mentioned Djokovic and Verdasco in the doubles, because we've still got some events to catch up with recently, which is on the Golden Swing. We've got the Buenos Aires event that took place, which João Fonseca won. So the young Brazilian, one of the rising stars and names to watch, he beat Francisco Cerundolo in the final in straight sets.